Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Market Mates, your daily, I suppose your daily show for live updates, price and action, and whatever news is happening around the world of markets and crypto specifically as well. So thanks for hanging with us, guys. If you are new here, make sure you click a follow, make sure you subscribe because we're live every day giving you realistic, unscripted live takes live on the show. Craig, mate, how are you doing on this fine Wednesday morning?
Good morning, mates. Good morning, Greeny. I'm good, thank you. Yeah, man. Happy. What are we today? What are we? Wednesday. Happy Hump Day.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
Yep.
Welcome to Wednesday for the Australians. Happy Tuesday night for the Americans. Yeah, dude. Happy days. Got a good night's sleep. Feeling refreshed. Started doing my studies. We can talk about that in a little bit.
Yeah,
Market
we've got that up.
I want market to dump further, so we can talk about that. Yeah, man. How are you, Greeny? What's going on? How's your day yesterday?
Yeah, good, mate. Good. Yeah, look, still final stages of negotiations with our the vendors for this house, and it's just annoying because like you've got three parties because there's tenants involved, so it's also like they have to do stuff, the owner has to do stuff, and we have to try and get it all in writing so we're legally okay, you know. So hopefully the final stages of that are confirmed today. We'll wait and see what happens, but it should be all sweet. I'm pretty excited to just have it finish, you know, and then just start like settlements in about 3 weeks time. So it's like, yeah, just have it all done. I'm just keen to have it all done so that you don't have to stress and worry about another thing. Because yeah. But no, outside that, building GTG really, yeah, cleanly helping out with market mates where I can as well. And we'll have a few shifts probably in the next show. We'll have a couple of visual changes. But yeah, no, doing well. I think the market, honestly, there's not much happening. We spoke about probably the best trade of the last 24 hours yesterday on the show, and I will bring that up because that was an absolute cook. And can't wait to disclose that one again. But yeah, outside that, it's very much patience right now because again, unless you're scalp trading on low time frames, you're probably not going to be consistently locking in any money, and arguably you're probably gambling. So it's a great time to learn. It's a great time to build. It's probably a great time, and a big focus of today's show will be on AI and AI agents. So I think for me, it might be a good time to actually study AI a little bit more, Craig, and start implementing it in my business, start implementing it in my daily life, and actually have an agent or two or three or four doing separate things to really construct my life in a more effective way, whether it's documentation, whether it's streamlining content ideas, following up on news that's happening so I can do like a short on it, generating like YouTube ideas, generating Instagram reel ideas. I think I could really use it. I just haven't been doing that just yet. So that's probably a focus of mine over the next week or two, as well as it just becomes so actually probably imperative that you start using AI, Craig. I feel like if you aren't using it, you're going to start falling behind. I don't know. Do you have the same consensus?
Yeah, I agree. I think using it for things like that, just to fast track your daily activities, would be useful. E.g., like you mentioned, news articles, stuff like that, stuff that I tend to do manually. I am starting to use AI for that as well. But a lot of it comes down to the prompts, right? For the accuracy of information. So teaching yourself the prompts to use, because AI can do whatever. But I've just noticed we're doing some things that obviously gets a little bit wrong or not exactly what you mean, depending on how good the prompt is. So I guess the skill is how to use the tool rather than the tool itself. But yeah, certainly I think those who use it versus don't, those who use it should win in the end.
Yeah, very excited. All right, moving on to the hot topics of today. Harvard, I said Harvard, goodness. Excuse me, let me start. Moving on to the hot topics of today. Harvard cuts their Bitcoin exposure by 20% and adds a new Ether position. Basically, they purchased nearly 3.9 million shares of iShares Ethereum Trust. But they cut a huge supply of their Bitcoin, which is pretty crazy to think about. They added 90 million or just shy of 90 million of Ether, Craig. Institutions are selling their Bitcoin for Ethereum. I don't know if I agree with that, but that actually makes me a little bit worried. Why would they actually be doing this, Craig? Is this a worry for our Bitcoin bags, or is this just a focus because of the MNAV, because of the leverage involved with Bitcoin these days? What are we thinking here, Craig? Are you worried about this?
No, I'm not really worried about it. But I'm interested into why. Yeah, Ethereum's an interesting call, probably especially at this time in the market too. I feel actually, I don't know. I haven't looked at ETH's price.
2000-ish. 2000, yeah.
Yeah, I reckon ETH's got further to go down than Bitcoin.
Yeah.
me personally, I feel comfier in Bitcoin. So that probably answers your question. And I have a lot more Bitcoin, but then I'm biased because I own more, but I own more because I think what I just said. So it's a tricky one.
Yeah.
No, I feel a lot comfier in Bitcoin, dude. Just me, just I think Bitcoin's bit the bullet already and kind of gone down as not as much as it needs to. But I think Ethereum, yeah, I don't know, man. Bitcoin, I just think while countries are talking about holding it and things like that,
Mm,
ETFs. I know Ethereum has similar things, but
mm.
hey, look, maybe I've got it wrong, and maybe 27, 28 is going to be the year of Ethereum, man.
Yeah.
I would love. I mean, I don't even mind that, dude. Maybe my pudgy penguin can get get out from underwater. That'd be fantastic if ETH would
I
seem
think
really.
I think long term that hopefully we'll get back to around where we bought it. I think it will. I think it's just, do we cut the tax loss and buy a new one mid year? That might be the strategy that you have to do. So
Yeah, and then do a
if I
swap CA.
yeah, my little swapsy or something. Yeah, if I look at the Ethereum chart here, it actually looks pretty shitty. I would agree with you, Craig. It looks like we're coming down. This is again on the monthly, so always zoom out, guys. And I disagree with Harvard's move. Like, sure, it's down like 80%, or not 80%. It's down like 50, 60% from the highs. Yeah, there you go. About 61%. This, if it can't hold this support level, which we obviously fell below, had a deviation last year. And that's where me and you actually bought our pudgy penguins literally in April 2025. In this tariff tip. So we absolutely nailed that move, but we failed to take profit up in this vicinity on that specific trade. If it fails to lose this level, which is clearly a high time frame support and resistance level, I'm going to say Ethereum could easily trade back as a 3-figure asset, Craig, later this year. Like, that's a real possibility here, particularly with the monthly bearishness here below 4,200. Like, it's 60% where the pivot is at the end of February. So yeah, there's a big chance for me that we could easily see Ethereum back in the $900 range.
I agree. I was looking at about that range as well. I was looking at about 900 to about 1,000, which
Yeah.
is still 50% lower.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
not slightly more in the 900s. So
Yeah.
if Bitcoin goes to 50% from here, it sits at what, 33,500, 34,000. What would you prefer to buy, $900 Ethereum or 35,000 Bitcoin?
You know what? $900 Ethereum is actually not a bad trade there.
Oh,
I
there's a
actually
different
don't mind
answer
that.
to I was expecting.
Yeah, I don't mind that because I own a bit of Bitcoin now.
Yeah, cool.
35 is so. This is the interesting thing. A $900 Ethereum back to its previous high is actually about a 5+ X, whereas Bitcoin at 35, 40K back to its all-time high is only a 3X. So the trader in me goes, Greeny, you're missing out on potential ROI there. And don't get me wrong, I think Ethereum still has a long way to go, but the fact it's scaling, the fact they have obviously DeFi dominance, the Internet of Things, institutions continue to buy it. Probably, I don't mind that trade down there. And you know what? I'd probably try and hedge that with maybe some more pudgy penguins or a punk, which would just kind of be stupid. I don't know. The future of NFTs to me, Craig, is actually quite worrying. I am quite bearish on the future of majority NFTs. I think punks will stay around as a sort of provenance. I think that's inevitable. I think everyone understands that. But whether they run back to multiple hundreds of thousands of dollars ever again, I actually don't know. So I'm a bit cautious there. But anyways, moving on to the next hot topic. I don't know if you saw this, but this tweet was going around.
Mate. I did, Greeny.
It went around CT over the past couple of weeks, and it went around again today. Or overnight. We aren't on this list, which is actually fantastic because at the end of the day, FFE shared it and he was on our stream recently, and I commented saying, oh, I didn't make the cut. But to be honest, there's a lot of people on this list that I don't actually really want to ever be associated with. So that's actually a good thing. A lot of these people on this list also basically have a brand that is just paid marketing and a billboard. Not also, I don't really want to be associated with those sort of people. So it's actually a blessing in disguise to not be on the billboard of, follow these particular CT individuals. Now, don't get me wrong. There's plenty of people on this billboard, plenty of people on this list that I do follow and that I do engage with and that I do support. Some most notable ones would be Min's a goat. Alyssa's on there as well. Like, there's plenty of people on there that I do. Kieran from GTG is on there as well. So there's plenty of people there that I have a lot of respect for. Jack, who clips as well, is on there. So But there's a lot of people on there that I'm a little bit cautious of, and you should probably be cautious of as well. Emilio Top Right is actually a goated follow. Very smart individual, great individual takes around sort of AI, InfoFi, those sorts of things. So he's a great follow as well. So I don't know, Craig, were you devastated that you weren't on this list, or is it a blessing in disguise because there's some known proper scammers on this visual right here?
Oh, look, it's one of those things. Part of your ego sees this and goes, "Oh, how did I get forgotten?" It's like high school and you can't sit with me and you're not at the cool kids table. So part of me goes, "Oh, why am I not part of it?" And that's just an ego thing. And then I look at it and I look around the room and go, "There's some shite in here too." There's a lot. I won't say a lot. There's a few people who grew obviously big on InfoFi. In this list. And look, I don't want to shame creators too much, but there's a little bit of regurgitation within this group. There's a bit of circle jerking. You can clip that, Levi. There's a good one for you. Look, I wouldn't say this list is the must follow on CT at all.
No.
Like if you want to be early to trends and actually genuinely get in early with people that aren't financially incentivized to talk about said product, this is not the list for you. If you want to follow people that get brand deals, tokens, InfoFi deals, this is the list to follow.
I mean, don't get me wrong, there's some goats on here. Yeah.
Sorry, Greeny?
There are some goats on here. There are. Don't get me wrong.
And the names you just mentioned, like Zach, is a beast, man. Like Zach is not. Don't get me wrong. There's plenty in here that are quality. It's just always with these lists, it's going to be friends of the person who made it, so they include a few of their buddies because they get deal flow with their buddies. I get it. I can make one too, and I'm going to have a few people that people go, "Why is he there?" It's because I like him, not because he gives value, but because I like his banter, right? So, look, it's always good. These are funny. Who actually made this? Who actually made this?
Not sure who the original person was. Oh, Kush? I don't know. Some random dude. I don't know. Let's move on. Jamsy's on there, obviously. Alyssa's on there twice, which is crazy. Yasmin is on there. Like, I know a lot of these people, don't get me wrong. But yeah, there's definitely a lot of people on here that I would be very cautious around their actual content. Craig, we are heading into a recession. I'm going to put it out there right now and say, due to the World Uncertainty Index reaching literally all-time highs, historical highs, we are very much approaching a recession. And I mean, we spoke about this over the past couple of weeks. Crypto's dumped, silver and gold are dumping. We've seen the S&P 500 really starting to show a bit of exhaustion. We saw the Mag 7 breakdown, having a structure break for the first time in years. It's capitulation happening here. Live here in Australia, rates going up, interest on your mortgages is going up, okay? Cost of living isn't slowing down. The government's doing nothing to really help the common average Joe Blow. Craig, are you worried that we actually, in theory, could see a huge recession in 2026 into 2027?
No, I'm not worried. I've been expecting it, man.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, I've been expecting it for a long time. And that just, for me, just comes off the back of the real estate cycle. So, it's all lining up perfectly, dude. I thought 26, 27 could be quite ugly years. And part of the reason I was selling Bitcoin into local highs was for this moment here. So I guess at this moment, I can't claim it yet, but when recession hits, which I expect it to, I'll say I'm right. I've been calling it for about 2 years. You don't get to print this much money without a recession, man. And
exactly.
I mean, when the world shut down during COVID for 2 years and we printed an exorbitant amount of money, there was always going to be consequences to pay. Some of those were consequences mentally, and then other those were consequences financially. I'm not saying that that's the reason we're seeing so much inflation, but I think that time boosted us. Mm-hmm. But I think it's just cyclic, man. I think it's cyclic. 2008, obviously you and I have been ringing the alarm bells about that maybe coming out to play shortly. Bring it on, dude. In saying that, it's going to sting a bit. It's still going to sting me. Like, even though I'm semi-prepared for it, you're never fully prepared. You always need more of everything. But I have been prepping for it. So I've been a doomsday person for a while, dude. So I don't have a bunker, but I've been going down the rabbit hole for better part of 2 decades. So with
Okay.
everyone waking up now with the Epstein stuff, I was onto that a decade ago, maybe even 2.
Okay, what's your prediction then? Make a prediction. Based on what you've researched, based on your rabbit hole finds, talk to us. What's your prediction?
I think shit hits the fan, man. I think we get a 2008 type moment in the next year or two. And the biggest thing for me is not so much how bad it gets, but how long it goes for.
Yeah.
So what concerns me is the time.
Yeah.
That's the bit that can hurt me. It's one thing to say, oh yeah, I'm prepared for it to dump. It's another thing to survive that period. So that's why I've got a bit of a nest egg for this time, because like I said, I've got a bunker, but it's not a physical one; it's a financial bunker. But which is why I think Bitcoin starts to become very important in times like that. Perhaps gold is too, and you might be seeing that happen now. But I'm not going to buy gold here.
What about having a house and shelter? Do you think, or does that get impacted? What do you think?
As far as my ability to afford my house, or as far as people not having a home?
Yeah, probably. I mean, affordability is a different beast. But like in terms of maintaining an asset, I think it's not a bad time to probably have a house if other opportunities are dumping and continue to dump later this year, right?
Yeah. I mean, probably. I mean, shelter's probably more important than an investment. In fact, it is more important, I think, depending on where you are in your life. But certainly having somewhere to sleep, I would put as a pretty high priority versus watching the Bitcoin chart, hoping I make some money. For me, first and foremost, I have a family. So first is a house and shelter for me. And secondly is the ability to afford food. I know that sounds silly, but need to have a roof over our head. Obviously, food actually is pretty high up in there as well. Food and water and a place to live, right?
Yeah.
I'm happy I'm in a house. I'm happy I'm up a 3x on it.
Yeah.
So for me, like I've said, I'm not bulletproof, but I can afford for the property market to lose 80% before I get in any sort of trouble.
Yeah.
So
very different to me. Very different to me.
I'm in a different position to you. I'm in a much stronger position. That's not by skill, that's by luck, also by age. I'm a decade older than you.
Yeah.
So if I was my age now, 40, and in your situation, I would probably be upset at myself, which is probably why I think it's a good thing you're doing what you're doing, even though you might be buying the tippy top. I bought the tippy top in 2000 and what have I been in 11 years, whatever that is. I don't even know when that was. Too long ago, but 11 years ago, I bought my home, maybe 10 to 11 years ago it was now. So I'm glad I bought the billet there. I remember buying then, it was about 490,000. And I remember thinking, sharks, that's high. Now it's 1.4, 1.3, 1.4 you get for mine now. So almost not quite a 3x, but bloody close. Should it be a 3x? No, it shouldn't. It shows you that the value of the dollar's gone down, not the value of my house has gone up.
And that's a big thing people need to understand. These assets are going up against a dollar that's depreciating, or the AUD, the USD, all currencies are depreciating because they just print more money, right? They're printing it out of thin air. Banks are continuing to lend money that they don't even have, right? So they need naturally more money in the ecosystem to provide that liquidity there. So yeah, it's very interesting. I mean, look, I had a look at the realestate.com last comment on this over like this morning, last night as well. And honestly, there's not any new houses in the suburb that we are looking. So that's it actually kind of gives me a bit of comfort because it looks like we actually probably got in right before there's a bit of a supply squeeze and a bit of uncertainty around rates and everything. So that maybe people are happy to hold on for their house a little bit longer, which is, again, it's a risk. It's always going to be a risk, but I'm pretty happy with that risk considering where financial markets are heading, where global markets are heading, where there's not really much else I would be pretty keen to buy right now because the bubble is just so bubbly. You got, as you say, gold and silver have gone crazy over the past year. Bitcoin went crazy over the last 3 years, okay? S&P 500 at all-time highs. The Mag 7 breaking down. So nothing is really where I see it as value, where I'd be confident to plow tens of thousands, if not six figures, into particular trades. So I was like, you know what? Probably a house in a good location probably makes a lot of sense for the next couple of years. Sure, we might be paying a little bit more every week. But ultimately, I think that it's going to end well. I think that house could be a very good asset to live in, but obviously own in the future and it has a pool and stuff, so it'd be dope. We're super
Hey,
excited.
got a pool, Greeny. Wow.
Yeah, dude, no. We'll have to have you up here, Craig. We'll have to have you up here
Yeah, dude.
once we move in. Anyways, let's move on to the next topic. I mean, just to touch base on the recession, Cappy made a really good point here. I think he agrees. Well, I agree. Sorry, with his point around OpenAI preparing for an IPO of $1 trillion valuation. I mean, like that's a top. If you have a scream about the value there, and like people will be taking profit, like the volatility on that will be nuts. So I do agree. I think it's an overkill, which is these are Cappy's words. Traded from GTG. Overkill for the company that hasn't printed positive earnings. Yeah. Well, I mean, OpenAI, I read an article last week said that they are having a negative loss as well. So over their last quarter or whatever it is. So yeah, it's an interesting time. AI is dominating, but the revenue isn't quite hitting where it wants to be. So yeah, there's a lot. I think the real takeaway is you just need to be cautious. I think you need to be cash is king, particularly when here in Australia, the cash rate is what, like 5%, I think, in the banks right now, Craig. So that's pretty good. Obviously, that's not as good as other assets that outperform the cash rate and inflation. And as always, if you have savings, you actually are losing out over the long run because inflation beats that. But I think right now it's an interesting time to certainly have a little bit of cash. As always, not financial advice, but these are just the conversations we like to have about being pragmatic, being real, and thinking more globally than just crypto, because crypto is a very it's an asset class very much down the risk curve. Only $2 trillion. I mean, if OpenAI comes out at 1 trillion, well, that's basically half of crypto's worth over a whole 15-year period. So that's pretty crazy. Pippin, we shared this yesterday, Craig. We talked about the deviation at the highs. I said this is a big crime pump. We spoke about it 2 days ago about how very much it's bundled, very much crimed up to these levels. Market makers pushing it higher, supply controlled, volume bots, you want to name it. It's very manipulated. I caught this. We talked about it live on the show. I didn't obviously give the setup. I shared that within in-house GTG. So if you are keen to sign up, check it down below, guys. But a really nice trade. Craig got in at about this 0.7-ish mark. And yeah, pretty much up over 2x already, and only using 4x leverage. And that's the beautiful part about leverage and how we teach you how to use it in GTG is it's a tool. And so many people blow up leverage accounts. They gamble because they think they want to get rich quick. Okay. If you can literally do the opposite, spend time compounding skills, compounding your knowledge, compounding your processes, your trading plan, which we help guide you in GTG, then you'll learn that you can make so much money on low leverage consistently in all market conditions. I mean, there's not many opportunities out there, but we just literally I just walked away with a 2x in the space of 24 hours, Craig, just by a bit of due diligence, following a trading plan, and this chart just gave me a really nice setup. So I've taken a bit of profits off the table now, moved my stop loss to break even. I really hope I hope this absolutely dumps all the way. I hope this dumps all the way back down to here at about the 1.6 mark. That'll be a humongous trade. So my entry is about 6.8, so about there. So that'd be about 75 times 4. So that's about a 4x if it goes down there. So, sorry, not 4x, but a 3x if it goes down there. So, Craig, it's just simple trading strategies. And just a massive shout out to Lunatic Kirby in GTG for bringing this up live on our call yesterday. So again, pays to be in the community because you miss out. Like I can't cover all the markets, and neither can you. But other people are looking at other things that you're not looking at. You're looking at things that other people aren't looking at. Cappy and Sexy have been nailing the New York Open for ages now, every single day. So we can't take advantage of that because it's at 12 a.m. or 1 a.m. our time. So it's just great to be part of a community like that where you can consistently win.
No, I agree. And like we spoke about yesterday, I mean, we called it yesterday. We said it looks toppy. It did. It looked. That's just classic. And that's where TA comes in very useful, dude. I mean, if it wasn't for TA, how would you execute that trade?
Exactly.
I would like to know, because for the people that are in the room going, nah, TA's bullshit, it's guys drawing lines, it's astrology for males.
Yeah.
Explain to me how you would catch that trade, because I am open to learning new trading skills. Yeah. But what I need from you is not to tell me you've got a feeling. What I need you to tell me something I can replicate.
Exactly.
And I have not found anything yet that allows me to replicate or have a system. This allows you to have a system, and that's what's important, because I find trading on hunches and feelings sometimes works out, but
rarely. Yeah, not consistent. Not consistent.
Yeah, with feelings, you kind of have a bias. Yeah. Whereas with processes, you can use processes to remove bias. So yeah,
And
gnarly trade, dude. I didn't take this trade, but that's because I wanted to go to learning. I need to not distract myself with trying to do trades versus actually do some learning. So I got into my learnings, but that one there was ripe, man. Like, and I just think we could make quite a lot of money shorting the market for the next. I mean, if we're talking recession, dude.
oh yeah,
It's probably a really good time to learn how to short, man, because
yeah,
it's probably going to be your main breadwinner for the next 1 to, I don't want to say it, 3 years.
yeah.
I mean, this bear market could be a while, guys. We went up for a long time. Some things went up for 2 decades. How long does it go down for after 2 decades of up?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I'm open to 1 year. I'm hoping end of the year, but I could be wrong.
Yeah.
I could be wrong,
Yeah,
man. So
agreed.
no, great trade, ripper trade. I saw a few people in GTG caught that, so that's
Yeah.
also nice as well. It wasn't just you that caught it.
No.
It was a whole bunch of other people. So that's what you want to see in a community. You want to see the little guys get the wins rather than the owner, right? The creator of a group. Because that's what happens in other groups. The creator walks away with the lion's share of profits because they want copy traders. So
yeah,
that's
it's
why,
terrible. Yeah.
yeah, so that's why a group like GTG is a lot better. E.g., what I mean by that is you can all win together rather than Greeny sharing a ticker. You guys follow his trade. Greeny sells on your volume. You guys get less of a win. He walks away with a 10x. You walk away with a 2x. Some of you walk away with a loss. And Greeny goes, look how good my trade is, puts his P&L up, gets other people to ape into his free call group, and he does it again and again and again. That might sound like some other people you know. And if that sounds like other people you know, you are the product and you're getting rinsed. So that's my rant, Greeny. There you go. There's your plug for GTG. You can clip that as well.
I mean, like, to be honest, though, like, just to touch base on that, so many people have always said, Greeny, can you trade for me? I've had millionaires. Like, I've had people worth 50 plus million say, Greeny, can I just give you $1 million and you trade for me? And no, financially no, legally no. And 3, I would much rather you learn the skills, because that's a far more important lifelong skill than me just trading for you. Okay. Sure, there's funds out there that if you want, go for it. Like, that's a suggestion. But copy trading is, I've never been a fan of copy trading, and we don't do any of that capacity within the GTG community. And the last point about framework, the GTG framework literally touches on that point that you spoke about. Okay, we speak about the fundamentals and we speak about structure as well. It's a very simple 4-step process that you can apply to any trade. It can be an on-chain meme coin. It can be a perps trade like this. And it is a consistent strategy that wins over time. Now, speaking of your journey, Craig, talk to me. You obviously are studying or restudying, as you mentioned yesterday. Give us a little bit of a pitch around what you're trying to learn and what you have learned in just the past 24 hours.
Yeah, so what I have learned is very little. But look, unfortunately for me, I've had to go right back to the drawing board. So I'm having to do lessons again that I did in 23, end of 22 into the start of 23. And then obviously you and I sniffed out the bottom of Bitcoin, and that's when you and I kind of came together. Mm-hmm. And I had to take my eyes off perps trading because I wanted to execute my spot trades, which I'm glad I did, because you and I absolutely I'm glad I didn't miss out on those 2 years, bro. You and me absolutely murdered it. But now I've got to pivot back. To the reason why I've gone back to ICT, he probably rubs a lot of people the wrong way. And I know when I brought him up before, people like, he's an arrogant prick and blah, blah, blah. I don't mind that. Just in the way that I don't really care about what his personality is. I more care about the information he has. I'm too much of a rookie to say why I love him, though, if that makes sense. Like, I'm new into my learnings to give you to be able to go, he knows this and this and that, because you know more than me about perps. So you're going to be able to give me 1,000 reasons that I don't know yet and why someone else is better, but I need to go through those learnings. The reason why I like him is he doesn't use indicators. So he's just pure watching candles, fair value gaps. I've got a whole bunch of notes I can go back to, but at the top of my head, it's no indicators. It's raw, like I said to you in GTG, it's raw dog data. So I wanted to go to someone who doesn't use any indicators and he's not trying to sell you indicators, and it's very bare bones. And from there, I can figure out what I like and then add, rather than follow someone who uses indicators but not quite understand the why. So, and that's the way I've kind of been in my whole life, especially with gym training and stuff like that. In the gym, I always was under the impression, and this held me in good stead, was learning the basic movements first, the primal movements: push, pull, squat, deadlift. You got to learn the big movements first before you're doing exotic bicep curls, man. You know what I mean? So I think the same way with trading, you've got to learn the primal movements, and then you go to the sexy stuff like indicators and stuff like that. So for me, yeah, unfortunately for me, I got to about module 41, 42. It's very dry. It's very information rich. It's a lot to take in, dude. Like, it really is. I'm going to say it's not for everyone.
And that's sometimes as a teacher, like, sure, his content is great. There's hours and hours and hours of free content, but as a teacher, people don't, like, that's not how people learn anymore. Rote learning, where you regurgitate information over a 6-month period in one exam, that's not how people learn in 2026. So I'm a big fan. That's what I was trying to reiterate in GTG with you yesterday, is take bits of watch specific videos, but then go somewhere else and look at someone else's perspective of it, because they might have a 20-minute clip that covers his 4-hour video, right? So again, I'm building this out. Can I trade for you, Brad? No, sorry, legend. But come in GTG, Brad. Come in GTG, and you can follow along me and many go-to traders who are better than me. And for me, Craig, it's about balance, right? So like you said, I like to, like, there's people like him. There's other people that I follow for like just 1 or 2 clips where I'm like, okay, that video on liquidity is really good. That video on FEG is good. That video on price analysis is good. That video on order blocks is good. That video on why time is good or statistics-based trading is good. I use a couple indicators, but they're price-based indicators. They're not indicators predicting anything or saying particular things. Like a lot of people love to shill you as well. So very similar to ICT, but my analysis has always just been price-based analysis. So it's literally, what is price giving you? Price gives you a story. Learn that, execute on that, understand that, and then start winning and trading off that specifically. Because once you become familiar with price, once you start looking at Bitcoin, and you really should start on Bitcoin, because everything in crypto runs off Bitcoin. I would highly recommend, just going outside of just one particular source. That's always, again, I did that for my honors degree at uni, is making sure you have a myriad of sources, right? Because otherwise you start going, oh, I want to trade like this guy. It's like, no. Trading is about what works for you. And using what you know, Craig, what ICT knows, what Sexy knows, what Cappy knows, what Aussie knows, what all these guys know, what other people out there on YouTube know, using that, fine-tuning it for yourself, writing in your trading journal, and then going about it in your unique way. I think that's the key.
I agree. No, I completely agree with you. And I will be stealing concepts and ideas and trade analysis from lots of people. I just know in my early learnings, if I spread myself over several people offering several different ways of doing the same thing, it'll lead to confusion in my mind. So it's one of those things, I'll bang this out and then I will look at all the other avenues. But no, certainly I don't think any one person is gospel. And like you said, I will steal things from many people to then build up the way I do it. In saying that, it was interesting yesterday going through it again versus me in 22.
Yeah.
Totally different understanding, man. So I must admit this time round should actually be a lot more pleasurable than last time, because A, I'm hearing it for a second time, but B, I actually was using a lot of it through trading spot. Yeah. So it's not like FEGs are foreign to me. I've watched the Bitcoin chart now for years. So I'm not saying I'm a pro. What I am saying is that while I'm now learning things for a second time, it's me going now, I remember that in 23, 24, when I was analyzing the Bitcoin chart. I remember moments. So it's clicking for me a lot better than it did back in 22. So I'm probably thinking I'll find this, I should be able to learn a lot quicker, but it should resonate with me a lot quicker as well. And I think it'll be a lot more fun this time. E.g., I'll go, that's why. Whereas doing it last time, I'd only been in the market a year. So I was very green. I mean, I felt like after a year I knew a lot, but now relearning that or re-listening to things, I was like, oh man, I knew nothing. I knew nothing. So,
but that's experience and that's knowledge, that's skills of just being in the market. So that's, I think, a key point that people need to learn. All Right, moving on to a hot topic. Meme coins are changing as we speak. Pump Fun have come out and said literally in the past 24 hours, creator fees need to change. Not every token deserves creator fees. Now users have the ability to decide whether a token truly deserves creator fees or whether it makes more sense to reward the traders engaging with the token. Cashback coins are now live. Learn more here. Here's a clip.
Well, I mean, we've really all got fleeced, man.
So if selected, your creator rewards will instead go to the traders instead of yourself. I mean, how many people are going to select that?
Do you want to give the money to yourself or someone else? Oh, no, I'd really prefer the dev to get it. Who's clicking that, bro? I'm not. I'm giving it to me.
The app. I mean, I had a really interesting call yesterday, Craig, with a product that is coming soon. Very interesting around meme coins and what they're proposing. So it'd be I mean, it's a bear market, so it'd be very interesting to see how it actually goes. But their product was, I can't disclose anything, but it was in terms of like where platforms are now, this is potentially revolutionary. And I think the main takeaway with this Pump Fund change is why you're still giving the creator and the team and the dev the power here. Why not just automate it to be an LP provider, so it gives more liquidity to the books and allows people to get in and out or support the token higher, like rather than differentiating who the actual claim token fees go back to. It's an interesting point, Craig. I mean, do you have any comment to Cappy says he's going to send you some more people on YouTube, but Craig, any comment here on Pump Fund? I mean, I think this is still like that. It's just the wrong model. I think this model is outdated. I think we need to see actually revolutionary changes in the meme coin ecosystem because it's just so heavily bundled, it's so heavily manipulated, and like vamping is a big issue. Like, I mean, for those people that don't know what vamping is, it's when Craig creates a meme coin, I come out, I create a meme coin, my friend over there creates a meme coin, the guy over there creates a meme coin, and it just depends on which cabal group, so which marketing people, which community members across Telegram and Twitter then push that, and that becomes the one that is technically the main runner of that particular attention-based token or that particular news, which is a shame because back in 23, when me and you fell in love with meme coins, Craig, no one even thought about creating a new one because they're like, wait, I just want to get it on the main one. Why not just like, why the hell? I mean, Pepe and Pepe Coin is interesting because that is technically a vamp as well. And that's a great example of how the first original Pepe coin did not ever get to the same levels that Pepe did later on, Craig. I mean, you can comment on this. We've been in and around meme coins for many years now. What are your thoughts around this? Like, do you think Pump Fund really need to change their model? I don't think they're launching an airdrop, by the way. I don't think they're ever going to launch an airdrop. They'd be so dumb too. I think it'd be stupid if they did that if you're a business.
Yeah. I mean, I think that I feel like they needed to address this earlier. I think this has been a problem for a while, but like you said, it doesn't address some of the fundamental issues that are in meme coin trading, e.g. vamp attacks. This will, I mean, I almost feel like it's a bit too late, man. Like, it's like, I feel like the meme coin market's been cooked for a while. You and I have spoken about it at length for a year. You know, trading's gone down, winning's gone down. No one's making money there. The trading volume's way lower. A win up for a while when they were incentivizing devs, but then more devs were coming on and they were just keeping it in a range to farm rewards and fees. I don't know, dude. I'm not far out. I just want the shit to die. I just want the stuff to die. I'm over it. Like, can we just go back to Ethereum-based meme coins where people hold for like a couple of months and we support one coin with one ticker and we just shill the hell out of it and enjoy our time? Can we do that again? That was heaps
Who's
better.
making that? Who's building that? Who's building that? Take us back.
It sucks. But you know what? That's a cultural change, and that's actually not the platform's fault necessarily. That's our fault. That's everyone who's traded this shit. And everyone got greedy and went, oh, that's a good ticker, I'll just steal that. Like, people need to, as soon as people stop supporting the second one, maybe we can go back to just having big runners. But unfortunately, we're all to blame here, not just the platform. We all got greedy and We effed it for ourselves, and I'm just not a willing participant, to be perfectly honest, in this stuff.
No,
And
neither.
I
I mean,
hope it goes to zero. And I hope
yeah,
everyone loses their money, not the viewers here today, but everyone who's dabbling in this needs to lose all their money and stop doing it so we can heal. Because until we stop giving them our money, nothing's going to change. So
Right,
I'm putting my foot down and I'm like, nah, I'm not trading this shite, man.
You know what?
I'm just in Bitcoin. Thanks.
That's a harsh reality, and I agree. I think until like this sort of shit isn't really going to bring back an organic runner or an authentic runner, and it's not until later this year in the bear market where I think everyone finally goes, you know what? I'm sick of this. I'm sick of losing money. The fees are high. I'm not winning here. There's no edge here. Now that's when the real runners probably come back, right? The old tokens maybe run it back, like Pepe, Mog, and stuff. Even though Mog could go all the way to 20 million. We don't even know, right? That's 60 million already, 7 million. Like these runners, but I think there will be opportunity for them to run it back in 2027. You just got to stay patient. All right, changing paces. We're going to introduce some AI here. Poly AI, I don't know if Craig would have seen this, but raised $200 million from NVIDIA Ventures and multiple top VCs. They currently handle over 500 million calls for Marriott, PG&E, Gordon Ramsay restaurants, and 3,000 more real deployments. This was fascinating. I stumbled across this yesterday, Craig. Poly AI works 24/7, answering every single call in under 2 seconds. And we also switch between 45 plus languages, handle payments and cancellations, verify identities, and even upsell your services. I'm going to show you a clip about this. This is exactly why I think everybody should be using AI agents literally every day to streamline their processes, streamline their businesses, streamline their content, and work more efficiently, because this is where the world is heading, and it's already happening in real time. So if you aren't doing this, you're essentially like falling behind where the crowd is heading, Craig, and where like I think it's going to be imperative. So watch this clip because it'll truly fascinate you.
Let me just check on that. All right, I see it now. That makes sense. So what's the mileage looking like right now?
Okay, give me a moment. What are the last 4 digits of your tax ID?
If you guessed 2, you're wrong. Both were Poly AI. We handle 500 million calls for companies like Volkswagen, Marriott, and 3,000 restaurants. Let me show you the most impressive AI voice you'll hear this year.
Hola, restaurante de Casa Rosario. ¿En qué puedo ayudarle?
Sorry, can you speak English?
Of course, I can help you in English. What can I help you with today?
Yeah, I'm in need of a table tonight for 2 people.
Let me check availability for 2 tonight.
Basically, under a second response, AI in 45 different languages, Craig. No brainer to start implementing agents in your life, in your businesses, in your processes, in your content ideas. This is scary, but this is the world that we live in February 2026. What are your thoughts here as someone that only really is starting to dabble a little bit in AI? And I'm not far ahead of you either. I'm not building Claude bots or agents like that. I really need to be, because it's so obvious how, like, think about that. Like, normally back in the day, right, you would have someone call up and they'd have to manually book it. They'd have to enter it into a system. This is all just automatic now. That saves thousands of dollars. It saves hours of time. And it makes your business far more efficient. What do you think, Craig? It's pretty crazy.
I can't wait to stream out in Portuguese, man, from our stream. Get multi-languages going. Locos, losos, esse. Bonjour. Buongiorno. Yeah, look, for one, you don't have, just in this example here, I guess it's great because you don't have some lady rushed off her feet that's serving customers having to answer the phone. She's got the kitchen in the background. She's like, hi, I'd like to book a table. She's busy, flustered, which they often are. Yeah. She's having to look up bookings. She's got a customer over there with a crying kid.
Yeah, they're emotional. They're
emotional. They're like, and then you as a customer get a bit of a bad vibe from her or he because they're stressed, which is understandable. I can only imagine what it's like to work in the kitchen. My friends did. It's a nightmare. I think amazing, dude. For things like that, for a business, you can have AI doing that, and you can have your actual real human doing real human stuff rather than those mundane tasks. Exactly. And actually do it better. Non-emotional, access to information like that for the AI agent, and can speak multiple languages. Mostly amazing, probably more frustrating if you're ever ringing up for a complaint and things like that, AI is not always the best. That's when you want to speak to an actual human. I know I do, so I can rage. But as far as insurance companies, you're high up on my list. But for things like this, dude, phenomenal. Like booking a table for two for dinners can't really go wrong, I don't think. So
No.
I think amazing, dude.
Where do you think we could implement AI in our day-to-day lives as traders, as content creators, as podcasters, as a business owner? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, just the automation of tasks, like you said. So I guess perhaps the ideas phase. So you wake up every morning and there's a new list of things that you should speak about that are the hot topics from yesterday, that perhaps while you slept, when you wake up, there's already a list from the prior prior 8 hours while you've been sleeping. AI has been monitoring those hot news conversations. So e.g., so I send the night before some news articles to you. When I wake up, there might be a new populated list of hot items that I've missed. Just things like that, just off the top of my head. But I mean, I think we'll be able to go a lot more exotic or sexy than that, but that's just off the top of my head. Just those things that I have to manually sit down with. I could be just getting fed constant feedback and pings. Craig, talk about this, talk about that. I think the ability to stream out in different languages, I think, is probably interesting.
That's pretty epic.
I'm sure the Mexicans out there would love to hear our takes on the market. So shout out to you guys, the Russians. I don't know, man. The Ukrainians, whatever they spell, I don't know, Ukrainian. Dude, I think that's really powerful for a streamer, the ability to communicate with that instant, those translators, or with the headphones in with the auto translate.
Yeah.
Man. My brother-in-law's been working with the translators, and he showed me a video about 8 months ago. He had recorded a video and he had it pumping out in different languages. A recorded video, dude, it was phenomenal. You couldn't tell that wasn't his native language. Perfect lip syncing.
Crazy. Yeah.
Like, I was like, whoa. So yeah, I've seen it coming and it's pretty cool.
The separation of real and AI is becoming so gray area that you really can't differentiate. It's going to be so hard in even the coming months, man. It's going to be
Mandarin,
hard.
dude. We need to get on Mandarin, dude. Like, Chinese viewers, but they're out there. The whales.
Well, let's speak about that, because it's actually the topic I wanted to bring up next is just the dominance that the US, but particularly China, has in terms of AI, right? So right now, Beijing alone accounts for 30% of exposed hosts worldwide for AI. The US only accounts for just over 20%. So 50% of the globe is currently being captured by China or the US. Obviously, Alibaba, OpenAI, your common household names are very much under the bracket of the US and China. Really interestingly, nearly half of the exposed hosts advertise that tool calling capabilities, meaning that they're not just generating text, they can execute code, access APIs, and interact with external systems autonomously, are occurring right now. So if you do look, completion, tools, thinking, vision, it's very much interesting how, and I mean, we've seen this on CT with Claude, but can execute code and access external systems consistently. So this is a real worry, because as singularity becomes a real focus of AI in the future years, basically, even right now, an attacker could simply ask the model to summarize an internal document, extract API keys from code, and basically call downstream services the model is configured to access. So basically bypassing so much here. It's crazy. We're reserving the early formation of a public unmanaged AI compute substrate. There is no central switch to flip. This is a worry, but it's happening in real time, Craig. I mean, you would just hope that hopefully the Chinese and hopefully that the Americans and whatnot, all these companies, they don't give it the ability to be singularity, to be iRobot. I don't know if you guys watched that, but that was a movie that I frothed back in the 2000s. Now it's bloody reality only 20 years later. It's pretty obvious that we do just really need to be careful there, because right now it appears as though a lot of these AI is on the brink of that next sort of step, Craig.
Yeah, I agree. I think one of the big concerns is obviously the access to data that these things have. And if you've got a skilled, with a lot of people that aren't skilled in this, that are becoming, I suppose, what's the word I can use? Working with AI. I don't even know what to call these people, but we're not aware of the vulnerabilities until some people actually get smoked, man. and there are going to be a few people that lose all their money, and it's going to come down to a line of coding. Yeah, I mean, I'm older. Maybe I'm just resistant to giving a robot access to all my funds. Maybe I should just embrace it and go ham.
There's no
But
way
not.
I'm doing that. There's no way I'm implementing that. Yeah.
No. I want to see this play out. Yeah, shit. I can see a lot going wrong here, man. A lot. I can see a lot of people who are going ham into this. It's a good time probably to be a scammer, man, and get used to building some code. Get into it, guys. There you go. There are going to be some retards using this stuff who don't know what they're doing, and their keys are going to be hanging there like low-hanging fruit. And people are going to come in and just say to the AI agent, like that said, give us the keys, please. And it's going to go, okay, and send you the keys thing. And you're going to go. And there's going to be some bad stories coming from this, but there are going to be some good stories too.
And you don't need to be so qualified anymore. Like I could sit at home from here and just plug away as a vibe coder and build products, build systems, build and sell them. Like it's crazy where the world is heading. Like it's really pushing away studies. It's increasing trade demand. Okay, or jobs that do require individuals. Sure, everyone's like, oh no, 3D printing of houses. No, bro, you're not going to be doing that. Like you need infrastructure to be built properly by humans. Like AI robots, maybe eventually, but we're talking 30 years away for that, in my opinion, to the finer details. But yeah, fascinating time to be, I suppose, in crypto, but also, I suppose, in AI as well, on the brink of that sort of integration, the brink of obviously, we spoke about OpenAI earlier in the show about their IPO coming later this year. So interesting time. Now, last topic for today, guys, is Bitcoin active addresses. I want to talk about this, Craig, and are you worried about Bitcoin? So what we notice here is Bitcoin active addresses has been going down since the peak of 2021. So way back when Bitcoin hit 69K for the first time in 2021, active addresses have been going down. Now, to build out that just a little bit more clearly, okay, wallet addresses and active addresses that hold at least 0.01 Bitcoin, which isn't much at all, it has stayed stagnant since 2023, okay? Assets that hold at least 0.1 Bitcoin has also been going down since 2023, and assets that hold, or active addresses that hold over 1 Bitcoin has been going down by about 30%, sorry, not 30%, 3% since 2023 as well. Are you worried about this? And I mean, if we have a look just to show you proof that people have merged to ETFs and then obviously maybe people are holding ETFs rather than Bitcoin on chain. What we notice here is assets under management have also declined since the peak of October. Before the liquidation event, we were very much peaking here at the 8th of October before that liquidation event. But it has gone down on Bitcoin specifically from $163 billion under management all the way to just 93. That is $70 billion gone out of Bitcoin in just the past less than 6 months, as well as active addresses also declining since 2023. Are you worried that this trade of Bitcoin, this asset no longer has enough upside? Or do you think these people who are leaving it are either over it, it's no longer this speculative hyped asset that we've seen crypto be over the past sort of 10 years? AI is emerging, so people think that there's more opportunity. We spoke about miners recently, turning off their miners and going and creating AI products and AI businesses. What is your thought as a common retail participant, which we both are? We are just retail participants who have a little bit more of a trading knowledge, who are trying to make our way in this industry. Does this worry you, or does this actually give you enlightenment because it potentially shows you that it's not going to be as much of a crowded trade moving into towards maybe 2030?
Yeah, really interesting question. I was looking last week at the addresses that held X amount of Bitcoin, and it looked like most of them were on a decrease. I think there was only one section of those, and I think it might have been the big holders, the big
100K plus. Yeah.
They were the only ones going up, I believe. All the other ones I looked at actually were going down. From memory, I might be wrong there, but I'm close enough.
No, you are right. 100 plus BTC is going on.
So I think it's everything you just said. I don't think it's one thing. I think it's everything you just said, e.g. people are looking at other opportunities. Perhaps they're lacking they're thinking there's less upside now in Bitcoin than in AI. And I kind of I don't even disagree with that. I think if you get into the right AI play, dude, it could do thousands of %. And
Yeah.
Bitcoin's not doing that anytime soon,
No.
I don't think.
No, it's a mature asset. Yeah.
Yeah, the days of that are done. So the gambler in me very much understands why people are chasing AI. Oh, it's a big question, dude. That is a massive question. I don't have all the answers. What I would say, I don't even know what I'm gonna say. What I would say is I still have conviction in it as an asset, and I still think over time it will appreciate in price. It just may not be as great as it's been in the past.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a vehicle for me, I think, to increase my wealth over time in a steadier state than perhaps some riskier plays. In saying that, I think it's important to diversify in some ways and have, say for me, I might like to have 70% of my my finances in Bitcoin and maybe 30% in riskier plays, which encompass AI. I think that's the way I'll go about it. I'm not really in the mood to chase AI type gains at this, I won't say late stage of my career, but where I am. If I was in my 20s, I'd have time on my side. In my 40s, time is not as much on my side. So from here until my death, I feel like I'll play it safer than someone in my 20s.
Well, yeah, risk is different when you're 40 compared to when you're 20. You can afford to, even me at 31 nearly, you could probably
make a decade of mistakes.
Yeah. You probably, like, I could still take a few risks, and it could still pay off in the long run, because life is longer than you probably feel as though it will be. And there's always that pressure that you need to be dominating before you're 25. It's like the biggest lie. You should live before you're 25, or you really should travel. You should work like overseas, like all those sort of things. I actually de-risked a little bit of my 65K purchase the other day, mainly because I am worried that if we have a recession and we have this market collapse worldwide, I think that Bitcoin could easily trade way lower. So I de-risked. I still own a fifth of the Bitcoin, but I'm tempted to actually de-risk a little bit further. I'm only 2.5% up from my buy now. It was obviously a little bit higher last week, but yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting time in the market. I've still got my orders set below 62.5. We could trade back towards 30K, 40K if the macro environment supports that. But you are right, Craig. The speculation of Bitcoin being like a volatile asset is still very much true, but a lot of people realize if they've been around crypto for a while, it's becoming a mature asset in which maybe it just makes up a certain percentage, as you say, as a long-term play, and you just hodl and look to rotate out when it's super euphoric again. In maybe it could be 5 years, maybe it's not going to be a 4-year cycle anymore. Maybe it's not going to be in 3 years' time, So I think for me, it's very interesting keeping an eye on these sort of on-chain metrics, because active addresses haven't, like, smaller wallets aren't accumulating it anymore. So that shows me that there's not enough speculation in that asset for the common average Joe to even worry about. So again, yeah, AI. My last question to you for today is, do you think the opportunity with AI is a balance between trying to build a business with it, or is it as well as investing, or is it one or the other? Should you be trying to build a business, or should you be trying to just try and find the right play, whether it's an AI ETF, whether it's Google, whether it's Anthropic when they go live, whether it's OpenAI when they go live, and waiting for a dip on those? Like, where do you think the true upside lies for maybe someone like my age? So someone who's 30, like, is it just implementing AI into my current structure of business and way of life and streamlining that to give me more time and better execution? I don't know. What's your takeaway here for AI implementation, or like AI upside? Like, how can you capture it in your life experience? What do you think is the best sort of essence to go about that?
I think probably both in your situation. Very different for someone who works full-time as a teacher, or a personal trainer like we used to do. Then I would say probably you would use it in your day-to-day life, but it's probably not as important as if you were building your own business. That's to make money, because you've got a ceiling, which is your employer. Whereas if you're your own business owner, you have no ceiling. And that's what I like about running my own business, is there's no ceiling. Whereas when I work for a company, there always is a ceiling. And that's the biggest problem with working under people. So why would you want to excel your position when you're capped versus taking that AI knowledge and implementing in your own business and growing Giga? Obviously, 99% will probably fail at doing that. So that's the risk. So to answer your question, I would say if you're in a comfortable job like teaching, it's probably more imperative to look at how you can make money outside of your main earning, because you're probably not going to earn enough to get ahead of inflation. Whereas with someone like you, I think because the beauty of you is you're uncapped in your earning potential, using AI to what's the word I can use? Unrestrain you from your earning potential, your output cap, because you will have an output cap, what you can do in a day. AI allows you to go beyond what that typically would be. I guess my answer is probably for you to use both, for me to use both, but for a teacher or a personal trainer, you may want to use it mostly for investing to try and escape the shite you're in. But that's just me having quite a doomsday outlook on most people that are employed, because I just know the wages aren't keeping up with the world, dude.
Well, the tax, right? In Australia, at least, the highest taxed individuals are people that work 9 to 5.
Yeah.
If you earn over 190 grand a year, which, I mean, the average income in Australia is around 100-ish, but the average income at 100 is around 35 cents, right? If you run a business, it's already at 25. You save 10% if you run a business, right, in this country. And business is supported in a range of different ways. Plus, if you get into property, there's tax, not loopholes, but there's tax advantages and strategies that you can have by being an investor in that industry. So yeah, if you work the 9 to 5 in our country specifically, you're actually at a significant disadvantage compared to the other people who don't. It's crazy.
You probably need to invest in riskier things to stand a chance. I mean, that's terrible advice, because I'm telling someone that's financially on the edge of death to throw the Hail Mary, but I just...
I mean,
it's death by 1,000 cuts. So you either throw a Hail Mary, you hit one and you live, or you just die over the next... It's pretty ominous outlook that I'm painting. It's probably not quite that bad, but... the way taxes work here, the way inflation works, the world is heavily against you as an employee. It is so hard. So I'd probably encourage everyone to find a side hustle as well.
Yeah, I think that's a great way, to do it. I do agree. I mean, like, don't get me wrong. This started as me for a side hustle, and now it's my full-time job. Yeah.
So, yeah, I think it's tough out there. I think probably every viewer out there that's listening to this that's employed is going, yep, that's me, paying rates, paying your power, paying your food bill at the moment. It's astronomical. Gas, insurances, car, house. Oh, man, it's just never ending, dude. So, you know what? You got to make more money. You're not gonna save enough, I don't think. I think you need to make more than save more. That's probably what I've found in my experience.
Yeah, saving money gets you nowhere over time because inflation beats it, right? So...
Yeah. So I think make more money, how you do that. I think AI allows you probably to do that probably a bit more efficiently, and then investing in it as well. Where to invest, I'm not too sure yet. That's something I need to look at when things are really bleak. E.g. now is probably a good time to start looking. So when the price actually dumps, I know what I want versus waiting for it to dump and then going, oh, what do I buy? That's not the way to do it, right?
Preparation.
So the conversations we're having now will probably bear fruit in 1, 2, 3 years. So that's why I think tuning in to us daily, I'll plug us now, is probably a good thing, because we are starting to fumble our way around to look what to buy when things go bad. Because it's pretty hard when you scramble, when the time comes and everything dumps. That's a hard time to research, because you've also got emotions and you're quite flustered. It feels bad. So yeah, dude, good show. Another good show. There'll be some good stuff. Hopefully people get out of here. A good AI chat. I just saw Ash Robin put out a good tweet that he also agrees with us as far as the meme coins. It's a cultural issue. It's not flick the payments to here and everything's solved. That's not fixing anything, dude. So I think we're on the right track there. And bang the show, Greeny. I enjoyed that. That was nice, dude.
Yeah, good. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Thanks again, Craig, for obviously tuning in as well every single day. We're here live, guys, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard, 9 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. So drop a follow, drop a sub if you are new here. We give you analysis market-wide. We engage with chat every single day. So thank you for supporting our content journey here on Market Mates, or obviously on our personal YouTube channels if you are watching. Craig, mate, have a lovely Wednesday, and we'll be live again tomorrow.
Cheers, Greeny. Thanks, everyone, for pulling up, and we will catch you guys tomorrow. Legends. Thank you.